A very happy Tuesday to you as we get started with our last program before we take a break for Thanksgiving. I'm Carl Lazouz. First up, a rescue package from the U.S. government for a struggling giant in the banking industry. Citigroup has been around for 196 years. Maybe you have a savings account with Citibank. But this company has suffered about $21 billion in losses over the past year, and its stock price plummeted just last week. That is why the federal government is stepping in to help again. It's putting another $20 billion in Citigroup. We say another because this follows a $25 billion investment in the company last month. All that money will come out of the $700 billion bailout Congress passed in October. But the government isn't just giving this money away. There are some rules and restrictions. First, the government will get a huge chunk of Citigroup stock. It'll own part of the company. And those stocks come with an 8% interest rate, so when the government gets paid back, it'll actually be getting more than it's investing right now. Also, Citigroup executives will have restrictions on how much they get paid. And their company will have to adjust mortgage payments for some struggling homeowners based on government rules. The struggling economy, one of the biggest challenges, if not the biggest challenge, facing President-elect Barack Obama as he prepares to take office. He's putting together his economic team, and he says they're working out the details of a recovery plan aimed at creating millions of jobs. But there are some concerns that the cost could be too high. Ed Henry breaks down the details.
With the financial crisis deepening, aides to President-elect Barack Obama are now signaling his economic stimulus plan will be much larger than the $175 billion package he campaigned on.
The economic recovery plan we are going to bring in January has to be big enough to deal with the huge problem we face.
How big is the question facing Mr. Obama as he unveils his economic team with New York Fed Chief Timothy Geithner the pick for Treasury Secretary? The chief of the National Economic Council at the White House will be Lawrence Summers, who's pushed for an enormous stimulus package of $500 to $700 billion. While Obama advisors will not be pinned down on a specific number yet, they're suggesting drastic action is needed to prevent millions more jobs from being lost.
It's going to be a number big enough that when they spell it out, it looks like, ooh, you know, with that many zeros on it.
But Republicans are already warning the price tag may be too high in terms of government debt, on the heels of a string of taxpayer bailouts.
We're going to be facing $1 trillion deficit in his first year, and I know he's going to want to stimulate the economy at the same time, but you know, we're going to have to cut back on some of the excesses of government, or the massive borrowing could cause some secondary effects that would hurt us long term.
While Team Obama is still open to the idea of an auto bailout, they're echoing congressional leaders by warning the big three will not get an infusion of cash without dramatic changes.
What we can't give is a blank check for an industry that isn't prepared to reform itself, to rationalize itself, and to retool for the markets of today and tomorrow.
The Obama economic plan is also expected to have tax cuts for the lower and middle class. They were supposed to be paid for by tax increases on the wealthy. But Team Obama is now signaling they'll wait on tax hikes until 2011, raising questions on how they'll actually pay for all of this. Ed Henry, CNN, Chicago.
A word to the wise: gelatinous. Resembling or having the consistency of jelly. Jelly-like.
Well, a gelatinous food product is enjoying a comeback thanks to the struggling economy. It's called Spam, but no relation to those unsolicited emails that are clogging your inbox. This stuff has been around for decades. It's gotten kind of a bad rap in recent years, but as Melissa Long tells us, these days it's back on the menu.
Ingredients: pork with ham, salt, water, modified, potato, starch, sugar, sodium, and right?
Spam.
We've called it mystery meat and the gelatinous cube. And who can forget the classic Monty Python diner sketch that made fun of it?
I'm having spam, 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 spam.
Invented around the time of the Great Depression, it was a staple for those who wanted the taste of meat but couldn't afford it. Then, as times got better, we got snooty, and eating the canned lunch meat became a major faux pas. Fast forward to today, at a cost of $2 and change per can, Spam is making a huge comeback, partly because of our withering economy. In fact, employees at this California supermarket say it's flying off the shelves.
Got to tell you, though, recently we've had a little shortage on Spam. In fact, we just got it back in stock a few days ago, luckily. But there was apparently quite a demand, and the supplier just couldn't keep up.
While most companies are laying off workers and cutting back, the Hormel Foods Company in Austin, Minnesota, the nerve center of the Spam dynasty, is overloading its employees with overtime. 2 shifts of workers canning Spam 7 days a week and indefinitely. And more people are now actually admitting they're putting it back on their shopping list.
I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dice it up and use it in a breakfast plate, yeah.
Actually, I like it not cooked. I just like it right out of the can.
Well, hey, I'll have to put it back into my my menu items.
Back in the rotation.
Yep.
And if you need more proof of the resurgence of Spam, check out the imitation versions of the infamous canned meat.
This Thanksgiving-themed shout-out goes out to Miss Hahn's 12th grade government classes at Evansville Central High School in Evansville, Indiana. What is a group of turkeys called? Is it a flock, gaggle, pride, or rafter? You've got 3 seconds. Go. A group of gobblers is a rafter. You also might have heard of a gang or a raffle of turkeys. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out.
Okay, everybody has a favorite dish when they pull up to the Thanksgiving table. Maybe you like to get stuffed on stuffing, crammed full of cranberries. But the star of the show is what makes so many of us salivate, the turkey. It has a special place in American history, and not just on the dinner table. Every year at Thanksgiving, the president pardons one special turkey that gets to live out the rest of its life in peace. This ain't it. It's a crucial part of tradition, one that says Thanksgiving isn't Thanksgiving without turkey. And maybe a nap. Tryptophan, an essential amino acid in turkey, functions as a precursor to serotonin, a substance that helps regulate sleep. And if your feasting leads to sleeping, you might dream of smoked turkey, stuffed turkey, roasted turkey, fried turkey, turkey sandwiches, turkey dogs, turkey legs, turkey bacon, turkey jerky. It doesn't matter as long as it's on the table and you're not a vegetarian. But get this, there's actually no proof that turkeys were part of the first Thanksgiving harvest feast back in 1621. What was on the table? Probably venison or goose. They were more readily available. But that wouldn't have mattered much to folks like Ben Franklin. The founding father was a huge fan of turkeys. He once went so far as to call the bald eagle, our national symbol, a bird of bad moral character, adding that the turkey was more respectable. We couldn't reach any eagles for comment, and the turkeys we had were cooked. But there's no denying a connection between turkeys and freedom. Take, for example, this brash bird brain who exercised his freedom to stop traffic without giving up his freedom to run away. These audacious adventurers were seeking freedom on the railways, hoping to catch the first train out of Jersey before Thanksgiving. And this costume creature is free to roam about the house as a pet without having to worry about the oven.
He's just like a little dog with wings.
Not to mention strong bird-like features. But besides the oven, what is a turkey's biggest fear? Behold the turkey eating competition, where gorgers guiltlessly gobble all the turkey they can. It's definitely not for the birds. They'll all tell you it's a foul idea. After you've gobbled up Thanksgiving dinner, tune in to CNN Heroes. Anderson Cooper hosts this all-star tribute to ordinary people making extraordinary accomplishments. The program airs Thanksgiving night at 9 p.m. on CNN, and our educator materials help students identify heroes in their own lives and recognize their own potential to make a difference. You'll find those in the Spotlight section on CNNStudentNews.com. And finally, some monkey business at a restaurant in Japan that is keeping the place packed. In what could be a record-breaking year for restaurants going bankrupt in the country, this spot is filled with people who want to be waited on by these simian servers. They bring out drinks, hot towels, they even take cash and return change. The health inspector even signed off on the whole thing as long as the apes stay in uniform. So the customers had Japanese food. We have no idea what the primate. That gobbles up all our time for today. You guys have a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you again next Monday.
Hi,